The summer of 2026 was supposed to be a coronation. As the United States co-hosted the World Cup, a wave of national energy swept through the stadiums. Manager Mauricio Pochettino had replaced years of complacency with a new intensity. He built a culture around a simple, aggressive question: why not us? The players bought in, and the country followed. For a while, the product on the pitch lived up to the hype. The U.S. men rolled out a freewheeling, fluid attack in Group D, dismantling Paraguay 4-1 and handling Australia to top their group with a game to spare. They followed that up with a historic knockout victory against Bosnia in the round of 32. Across their first 4 matches, they racked up 3 wins, proving they could consistently generate offensive firepower. This early run established a clear baseline. The U.S. men had the attacking talent to break down mid-tier defenses and the cultural unity to thrive under the immense pressure of a home tournament. Expectations for how far they could go were now enormous. That soaring optimism traveled with the team to Seattle's Lumen Field for the round of 16. To arrive as a global power, an American squad eventually has to clear a specific historical hurdle. They have to defeat a Tier 1 European powerhouse in a knockout game. Waiting for them in Seattle was Belgium, a physically imposing, tactically ruthless opponent, acting as a stress test for this American roster. Advancing to the quarterfinals was the goal, but the true stakes lay in seeing if American soccer could survive 90 minutes of elite European execution. Belgium took control immediately. Just 9 minutes after the opening whistle, Charles de Ketelaere tapped in a strike from inside the box, giving the Red Devils an early 1-0 lead. Yet the Americans showed real resilience. In the 31st minute, Malik Tillman struck a bending free kick that deflected perfectly into the net, tying the game at 1. This was Tillman's second direct set-piece goal in as many knockout matches. The American scoring touch was holding up against elite defenders. In that moment, the weeks of hype felt earned. The United States was going toe-to-toe with a European giant and proving they possessed genuine teeth in the final third. For exactly 11 minutes of game time, the U.S. men looked like they belonged on the same tier as the European elite. Then, the illusion shattered. A mere 61 seconds after the American celebration, de Ketelaere scored again. Belgium retook the lead, and the United States defensive structure began to rapidly unravel. Individual errors compounded the tactical breakdown. In the second half, goalkeeper Matt Fries wandered too far off his post, allowing Hans Vanaken to easily extend the Belgian advantage. Later, a late sloppy giveaway by center-back Chris Richards deep in his own half directly handed Belgium their 4th and final goal in stoppage time. Behind those individual mistakes was a broader mismatch in recovery speed. The sheer power of forwards like Romelu Lukaku overwhelmed 38-year-old captain Tim Ream and a defensive line that simply couldn't close the gaps fast enough. The box score showed the U.S. controlling 56% of the possession, but they were completely unable to stop world-class counterattacks, leaving a visibly frustrated Pochettino kicking water bottles on the sideline. The 4-1 collapse was the result of a fatal lack of structural reliability. When stressed by elite attackers, the American defense could not hold its shape. To understand why the defense buckled, we must analyze the Big 5 minutes metric, the total playing time a roster accumulates in Europe's top 5 leagues. Data shows the U.S. sits in a peer cluster with mid-tier nations like Serbia or Norway, tens of thousands of minutes behind the true title contenders. While the United States has built a group of creative attackers playing meaningful minutes in Europe, they have a glaring lack of depth and high-level club experience at the center-back position. Because of that talent gap, the loss to Belgium was a mathematically accurate reflection of the current ceiling for American soccer. But that ceiling is not permanent. By the 2030 World Cup, this core group of American attackers will enter their absolute physical and tactical prime. The mandate for U.S. soccer over the next 4 years is clear. They must identify a reliable, world-class goalkeeper and rebuild the center-back pipeline from the ground up. Exiting in the round of 16 was a missed opportunity, But the 2026 tournament modernized the team's culture and defined the standard they have to meet to finally shatter their ceiling in 2030.